at this point needs Canadian military robot tech. Military specialists say they're suspicious of Turkish cases identified with homegrown robot innovation. Stung by the government's choice to boycott the fair of best-in-class Canadian robot optics and focusing on frameworks to Turkey, the country's biggest robot maker says Turkish arms producers have built up their own innovation and at this point don't require the Canadian gadgets. International Concerns Minister Mark Garneau declared a week ago that Ottawa had dropped arms trade licenses for Turkey's Bayraktar TB2 drone frameworks after an audit discovered tenable proof that Canadian innovation was redirected to Azerbaijan without Ottawa's assent and was utilized in battling against Armenian powers in Nagorno-Karabakh the previous fall. In a furious tweet gave not long after Garneau's declaration, Selçuk Bayraktar, a top chief with Turkish robot maker Bekar, said Canada's crossing out of fair grants for optical sensors and focusing on frameworks delivered by L3 Harris Westcam in Burlington, ONT, won't hurt Turkey's blossoming drone industry, as indicated by a report by the Anadolu Agency. Bayraktar, who is Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's child-in-law, additionally cautioned that if Turkey chooses not to sell Canada-equipped automated elevated vehicles, UAV, during a crisis, this may cause it significant issues as Turkey is one of just 4 nations on the planet that make fight-tried robots, Anadolu Agency detailed. Bekar didn't react to Radio Canada International's solicitation for a meeting with Bayraktar. Canadian safeguard specialists say they question that Turkey's locally created optical sensors are on par with what Westcam's and contend that Ankara's rehashed endeavours to invert the boycott at the most elevated political levels, which incorporated an individual suggestion by Erdogan to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau the previous spring, firmly proposed the opposite. Chris Kilford, a safeguard and security master and a previous Canadian protection attaché in Turkey, said doubtlessly the Canadian boycott has vexed Ankara. What we've seen since the entirety of this has happened is that you had President Erdogan call the head administrator at a certain point, you had the Turkish unfamiliar clergyman call our unfamiliar pastor, and the protection serve in Turkey call our safeguard serve, Kilford said. What's more, what does it truly advise you? It reveals to you that these Westcam units for their robots are incredibly significant. Else, they wouldn't call. Kilford said the optical sensor and focusing on framework unit created by Turkish arms producer Aselsan is purportedly around 20 kilograms heavier than Westcam's MX-15 case introduced on the Bayraktar TB2S. Also, in contrast to the Westcam sensors, Kilford said, Aselsan's item hasn't been fight-tried in Libya, Syria and Nagorno-Karabakh, where the Turkish robots end up being powerful to the point that Selçuk Bayraktar was as of late granted the Karabakh order by Azerbaijan's President Ilham Aliyev for the job his robots played in overcoming Armenian powers. A standard I frequently apply to Turkish features or articulations is that when they say no harm, it is the specific inverse, Kilford said. Undoubtedly, the Westcam units are seemingly the best accessible and demonstrated in 3 ongoing battle circumstances in various landscapes and conditions. Whatever is close by to supplant the Westcam cases will probably not be as great, as unfamiliar clients will likewise note. Turkey disrupted the norms, protection master Christian Luprecht, a teacher at Queen's University who has some expertise in safeguard and security issues, said that while Turkey has been buckling down for quite a long time to extend its own homegrown protection capacity, around 70% of its arms industry is still basically fabricating other stuff under permit. Furthermore, remember that different nations, like France, have either frozen or suspended licenses, Luprecht said. That implies Turkey has cut itself off from provisions delivered by a few key partners, he added. Furthermore, that is the essence of the issue. Turkey disregarded its end-use confirmations, Luprecht said. For the multilateral fair control framework to work, he said, the repercussions for Turkey must themselves be multilateral, both to get control over Turkey and to send a reasonable message that the conditions on trade control grants should be complied. Turkish examination vessel Orak Reis is seen moored off the shoreline of Antalya in the Mediterranean on September 13, 2020. Greece's executive later invited the arrival of the review vessel to port from a contested space of the eastern Mediterranean that has been at the core of a deadlock among Greece and Turkey over energy rights. Burhan Ajbilisai/Associated Press. For Turkey's situation, we as of now see the following: a showdown with Western military stuff fermenting its maritime undertakings, securing its hydrocarbon seabed claims against Greece and Cyprus, Luprecht said, alluding to strains among Greece and Turkey in the eastern Mediterranean. Given the set of experiences among Turkey and Greece, that showdown could without much of a stretch go sideways, Luprecht added. What's more, by Canadian innovation is in question. So this truly must be a discussion about looking forward, as opposed to simply thinking back. Turkey focuses to Canada's arms deals to Saudi Arabia. Turkey thusly has blamed Canada for keeping a twofold norm, highlighting it's proceeded with arms shipments to Saudi Arabia regardless of that nation's driving job in the Yemen struggle and its helpless common freedoms record. Turkey has been a critical client for Canada's safeguard industry. As indicated by archives delivered by the government to the Parliamentary Board of Trustees investigating the arms send-out licenses issue, Canada has sent out more than $446 million in innovative hardware to Turkey's thriving homegrown arms industry since 2014. Besma Momeni, a University of Waterloo teacher and a senior individual at the Centre for International Governance Innovation, said the issue of arms trades warrants a genuine public discussion in Canada. Momeni said the guard business makes a major commitment to the Canadian economy. As per the government, the business offered more than $7 billion in GDP and near 64,000 positions to the Canadian economy in 2018. It's very huge, and on the off chance that you see occupations, it's blue-collar positions and they have a ton of potential high-worth included terms of occupations of things to come. It's the place where you need innovation venture to go regarding AI, computerized reasoning, as far as quantum computing, Momeni said. If we somehow happen to remain on high good ground and say we shouldn't trade any of this stuff, that is fine. Be that as it may, another person will.